Well, hello there. Welcome back to the podcast. The ish no one talks about when you're shopping for a car. This podcast is sponsored by Car Envy and the Car Strategist. This is the place where we talk about all the stuff people don't tell you when you're shopping for a car. Literally. They want to tell you stuff like, make sure you get a sunroof, or make sure that base is stumping, and you're thinking, okay, sure. What they're not telling you is everything else in between that you need to know. And since we are talking about secrets, well, I'm going to tell you a secret. So, I think my daughter was, about 6 years or so. And at the time, I was driving. I had just bought a brand new Nissan Maxima, black on black, and it was a stick shift. Well, I know how to drive a stick shift, but I had not driven one in a while. And my husband at the time bought this car. What he really didn't say was he was buying the car for himself because he knows how to drive stick shift, but AKA it was for me. Yeah, okay. So I was in the car with my daughter. As I mentioned, she's about 6, no more than 7. And we're going through town. And she looks at me as I'm going from second to third gear. And somehow, I guess I missed the second or the third gear. I don't remember. And she starts crying. I'm like, what are you crying for? I'm the one that's suffering through this. Well, so apparently all the jerking of the car was just not making her very happy. A few days pass, and my mom calls and she says, hey, Shirley. And I said, yes. And she said, well, your daughter was complaining. Kelsey was complaining that you make her teeth fall out. And I said, what? What are you talking about? She said, I don't know. There's something apparently about you not being able to drive the car. And every time you shift up, you make one of her teeth fall out. And I just thought, what a jerk. But okay, so that's my secret. Now, today, what we're talking about? We're talking about your finances. We're talking about the finances that impact us when we are car shopping. So, one of the things we don't talk about is your FICO score. You go in and you apply for credit on a car that you don't know what your FICO score is, for that matter, what a FICO score is. And when they tell you your car payment is, $1,000, you sign on the dotted line and you keep pushing on until you can't make the car payment. Okay, I'm stopping that. How in the world are you going to know what your credit is or what your credit is worth if you have no idea what your FICO score is? Yes, I paused for a minute. Your credit score or your FICO score is a 3-digit score, and it's based on your credit report. So if the world ended today, your credit score reflects a certain number, and it's the Fair-Isaac, it's a scoring system, right? It's a credit scoring system. I don't think I have the time to understand how it works, but okay, we're going to just go with it. Your FICO score shows how you pay back your loans. If somebody's trying to pay you, if somebody is trying to loan you money, your FICO score is going to reflect how likely you are not to pay them back. Your FICO score also includes your credit bureau, your credit history. If the world ended today, what does your credit look like? Who are you not paying? Who are you paying? How much are you borrowing? When are you borrowing? When are you not borrowing? Some of the things that are in your credit file that you should be aware of. But your FICO score, when you go in and you're trying to buy a car and you're like, okay, Mr. Car buyer, car dealer, what's my FICO score? And they say, 200. You can dispute that, right? Because you know what it really is. That's the FICO score. The FICO score is important. So, where can you find your FICO score? Some free resources, myfico.com, Experian.com, creditkarma.com. Did you know that you can get your credit history once a year for free? Yeah, free. And it's so that you know exactly what's in your credit file. So you're not guessing what's in your credit file. So you're not taken advantage of, or you're not caught off guard when you're car shopping or when you're going through the finance process. Why do you need a FICO score? That's the only way that a creditor knows how much money to loan you, for how long to loan you, and whether or not you can actually buy the car. So your creditor is the person that's loaning you money. They really need to know whether or not you're likely to pay them back. That's why you need to know your FICO score. They need to know your FICO score. You need to know your FICO score so you're not taken advantage of. Can the FICO score affect your interest? Yes, every day of the week. The lower your FICO score, the more it costs you to borrow money. Let me explain that again. The lower your score, the more it costs you to borrow money. Let that resonate for a minute. Can your FICO score affect how much you borrow? Yes. Let me explain this way. The lower your score, the less likely somebody wants to loan you money. So if your score is low, I'm not going to borrow you that much money. I'm not going to loan you that much money because you got to prove yourself to me. Will the FICO score affect my insurance? Yes. The cost of your insurance is also based on your FICO score. How do I fix my FICO score? You pay your bills on time. Have available credit. That means not maxing out your credit cards. Stop going to go get new cards, because then people are not pulling your bureau. Those are examples of how to contain your FICO score. I'm going to go back to this one. Should I know my FICO score? Yes, every day of the week. So a FICO score is how the person trying to loan you money decides whether or not you're likely to pay it back. A FICO score is something you should know before you ever walk into a dealership. A FICO score will impact how much you can borrow, will impact how much the money costs you. It's something that car owners won't tell you, don't tell you, and that's a secret that I get to share with you. So you're welcome. If you found this podcast helpful, please share. In the meantime, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode.